like, how do you guys go out to every club, every city that we go to? How y'all doing this?
We were doing it too at that point, right?
I'm gonna let you know right now. I maybe went out a couple times with them, but they could and then do a show. I was like, because we were at that point. We were taking naps, girl.
Well, we were in Paris at the cafe drinking wine.
Yeah,
and,
but for me, with
the film crew.
Yeah, that's for us. I remember the first. Who's that girl? It's like getting mushrooms in Amsterdam.
And I remember
going
out a lot more on that tour.
But by the time we got to Blonde Ambition, it was like, okay, look, you got to get to a little champagne. I'm good. But when you start talking about like we're gonna hang out till 4 a.m, and we have a show and a sound check it too. How are we gonna do this?
We were a bigger part of that show as well, so it was a lot more demanding. It's like I feel like we worked our way to being in that place, and then by 1993, it was even.
For me, it's like watching her trust us, really trust, and by then we were doing all the you and I were doing all the records with her. by then.
So we had a real, solid creative relationship.
She trusted
collaboration.
us that we would do the right thing.
Do you guys have? I mean, I know you left earlier, Niki, and you stayed on for some tours. But between the two of you, do you have a favorite tour each that you were on? I mean, they're all so different.
Blonde Ambition, I think because of where I was at also in my life, and my brother AD got to come out, and I got to share that with a lot of, my family and friends, and the work was incredible, and
for me, I think
it was great, great time.
Blonde Ambition is the best for me as far as this. It's stamped on like this is the bar. Mm-hmm. For everybody else. This is if you're gonna go do a tour, this is the bar. Mm-hmm. I personally love her arrangements, her vibe, her music of Girlie Show.
Yeah, that would be
the
my
band.
second.
The band was like, to me, her band was like so intensely great. It was like I was like, okay, I'm in heaven now.
Yes.
Because and maybe that was my jazz background where it was like she had these great, amazing players. And they just took her music to other places. I was like, yes, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with that, yeah.
You do? Mm-hmm. Was there, because we all watched Truth or Dare, and there was such a, you had the image of like Mama Madonna, and she hung out with everyone and the dancers. I've had Carlton Wilburn on this show, so we love him.
Yeah, he's great.
Was that really the atmosphere? Like, was there dinner? Would Madonna say, hey, Niki, Donna, like tonight we're going here for dinner? Like, was there real, yes. You're both shaking your heads.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and by then, too, remember, between Who's That Girl, I'd gotten to the point where we were doing, barbecues and stuff. But when she started dating Warren, I was up there with her doing barbecues, and we'd sit by the piano. And, I just remember, like, really feeling... I remember watching popcorn, having popcorn and watching...
In his movie theater.
Yeah,
we'd all have, like, movie night over there. And he was very generous in bringing us all into his world as well. So we had a good place to hang.
And even after the breakup with Sean, when she had the place over here, I just remember like she was so much more accessible that way. And I think I keep on forgetting because I didn't know the journey that she had made already. So I was like, who is this child? Okay, well she's a girl from Michigan who sings. Okay, I'm gonna help you do this, so let's do this. And then I realizing that she's a superstar,
definitely.
I had to come to that. Like she actually was a superstar by Who's That Girl, but I didn't see her that way. By the time we got to Blonde Ambition, I was like, oh, she's a superstar. That thing, and I remember us laying on the bed and her going, it's not as easy as you guys think. And I was like, I don't even think I want this. Like, I'm like, I don't even know why you would invite. As Warren would say, why would you invite this into your life? Love the music and everything. Isn't there a way to have this without all this? And once again, this is before phones. This is before. I'm so grateful that we got to do it.
So am I.
Without, we only had that outside camera. Can you imagine if we had that camera and everybody else doing this too?
Well, it wouldn't have been that powerful if it was in this time anyway. And do you remember in the beginning when
I'm not going to say that it wouldn't have been that powerful. It definitely would have been powerful.
But
I know what you mean.
In the beginning, we felt like we didn't know it was going to be a movie, Truth or Dare. So we felt like, she's going to get some home footage. And we didn't know, but you got used to the cameras. And then it became like, oh, did I say that on the camera? Like you forgot they were there. But I feel like it was so powerful because it was these guys we were comfortable with them being around and everything, and we weren't so inhibited that as I see people being in front of, with the selfies and staging everything and all that. A lot of things got to happen
filters.
spontaneously.
No filters.
And people got to be seen in all different lights.
Yeah, the other night I was out to dinner and I saw someone like walk into a restaurant. I mean, no, just, I'm sure an influencer trying to make her mark, but I mean, she filmed herself like walk. I'm like, this is
too much.
what is going on in this
Yeah.
world? Now, granted, we are in LA and that's part of it, but like she walked in 3 times.
I live in
I'm like,
Georgia too. I'm letting
do?
you know it happens there too.
Really?
Yeah.
In the country, the folks are doing it, and it's such a sad commentary on where we are in America. I mean, that's why I think things like this podcast, where people are just talking and
Isn't
looking
it
at each other,
incredible and
How
not
about
looking
that?
down at their phones?
How about that simple little thing?
I walked into a store one day and the girl couldn't even help me because she was doing an Instagram live. Like she couldn't. I'm like, excuse me, can you tell me how much this shirt is? Excuse me, I'm doing an Instagram live. Can you just wait? Yeah. So
you're like, I'm here to actually buy something or potentially like, well, what's wrong with this picture?
It's a different world.
Or even like that's the other thing too. Here's another moment. When you said, "Are you nervous?" in front of those big crowds.
Yeah.
It's hard to be really nervous. And I remember us talking about that. I was like, I was like, by the time we got to Blonde Ambition, I was like, all she got to do is show up, Joe. Just put somebody with a blonde wig up on here and they won't know. Because this is really before like gigantic screens where everything's super close up and you can see everything that's going on the stage. But also, which I reckon, we did get to see people going,
they were looking at it. They weren't behind
they weren't
their
doing
phone.
this.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
had an iPad. Nobody was doing. It's like everybody was really there with us. So
Yeah.
I do remember
Yeah.
those moments, or even moments where it was like being in China. Oh, not China. Sorry, being in Japan, where there's such a polite audience. It's like
I
people
love
just
those
sitting
audiences.
and just like
yeah.
they were
'Cause you
having
could
a good.
see
But
their eyes and their faces and their expressions.
Yeah.
They were all
They're just,
so
like, in awe.
happy.
yeah, because our big deal was light the lighter.
Yeah.
That was
Right,
pretty much
right.
it. That was light the. It was like okay.
Nowhere to hide,
exactly.
nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
There were like hundreds of thousands of people with
Yeah.
lighters and
And so
Paris.
now it's like everybody, turn your
Yeah.
phone, put your flashlight on. Now the artists
Yeah.
are using their other people's phones as part of
but
their
that's all they know.
production.
So it
Yes.
is that's the magic for them now.
It
You know,
is.
it's hard for them to understand that, but when they see like the documentaries and everything, they can go back and get it.
And
Yeah.
I think it's incumbent upon us as artists to show them that and let them feel that, because for me, it's like same thing. That's why I still take my daughter to theater. I mean, just because there became movies or TV didn't mean that theater wasn't important.
Right.
It's like you got to make sure that they see because there is something that happens cerebrally and cellularly when you're in a room
sound
with
vibration, yeah.
everybody and you're breathing at the same time, laughing at the same, just small moments like that where
Yeah.
an electronic piece of something